Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Cowboys WRCD Lamb responds to NFL ban with two-word message. The NFL has banned a celebration popularized by Dallas Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb. Dallas Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb voiced his frustration with the NFL's decision to ban his signature nose wipe celebration, a move that targets the wideout's go-to gesture from recent seasons. The league said the celebration popularized by Lamb carries gang connotations. Because of those associations, the NFL determined the gesture could be seen as promoting violence or gang culture, which goes against the league's image and rules for on-field conduct. The nose wipe has gang connotations, it's disrespectful, NFL Executive Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent said. It's just where we are in society. Young men, they come from that era, from that age, and they've grown up on social media. If anybody Googled nose wipe, you'll see the language that is used and where that's affiliated. I think the players know better. I know they know better. We're focusing on a small fraction of players. But sportsmanship is important. When you see it, you've got to kill it. You've got to stop it immediately. Most players don't want it in the game either. The gesture will now draw a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. Lamb took to social media to give his very brief take. Dragonette, Lamb wrote on Instagram, reposting an article about the celebration being banned. The Cowboys are keeping the door open when it comes to adding firepower to their receiving core. Cowboys co-owner and COO Stephen Jones said the team is still considering options to find a more dynamic complement to Lamb. We're still open to looking at a really explosive number 2 that could upgrade us, Jones said. But as I said, I like our room and certainly like the players we currently have. As it stands, the Cowboys' wide receiver depth chart features Jalen Tolbert in the number 2 spot, with Cavonte Turpin likely to see work in the slot. Dallas also recently added veteran Paris Campbell, while Jonathan Mingo, Jalen Brooks and Ryan Flournoy round out the group. Lamb posted 101 catches for 1,194 yards and 6 touchdowns last season. But Dallas lacked a consistent secondary threat to draw attention away from him. Tolbert showed potential in a limited role, but the front office appears focused on finding another reliable option to stretch the field and support quarterback Dak Prescott. The Cowboys are still rounding out their roster. One need in particular is behind Dak Prescott on the depth chart. Dallas watched longtime backup Cooper Rush sign with the Baltimore Ravens in free agency. Will Grier is on the roster as an option, but the Cowboys will explore other avenues, including a trade. Yes, still an option that we're looking at, Jones said. We can do it via trade, we can do it via what's available out there, trade is one of them and certainly signing available guys are one of them. The Cowboys notably traded for Trey Lance in 2023. However, Lance never saw meaningful time during his stint in Dallas and is currently a free agent. Lance has not received much interest, although a CFL team has eyed him. Robert Griffin III weighs in on Micah Parsons' future with the Cowboys. Robert Griffin III gave a controversial take on Micah Parsons' future with the Dallas Cowboys. The franchise loss of DeMarcus Lawrence has given the star linebacker a lot more leverage in contract negotiations. It is currently unclear whether Parsons, who is set to become an unrestricted free agent in 2026, and the Cowboys will reach an extension over this offseason. Talks between the two parties have heated up over the past few days, but Griffin III believes that the 4-time Pro Bowler should be requesting a trade. The former NFL QB made his thoughts clear in this post on Twitter that is definitely going to rile up Cowboys fans. Players like Micah Parsons do not come around often and are especially valuable in an era of so many gifted quarterbacks. The former Penn State standout has 52.5 sacks, 63 tackles for loss, and 9 forced fumbles in 4 seasons in Dallas and is a perennial candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. Parsons is currently on a club option that is a little more than $24 million. However, there is a decent chance that the 25-year-old might demand a contract for as much as $40 million annually. That is currently the contract of Browns defensive Myles Garrett, who is 4 years older than Parsons, while the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league is currently Jamar Chase at $40.25. It is important to note that Parsons' club option is a hindrance to the team's current financial flexibility. The Cowboys subsequently restructured the contracts of Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to add more cap space and will likely try to spread Parsons' salary over a long period of time. Overall though, Dallas needs to get this done. The franchise knows how important the three-time All-Pro is, and so does he. Not extending Parsons before letting Lawrence walk was not a wise move, and now really puts Jerry Jones behind the 8 ball in negotiations. For all intents and purposes, it does not look like Parsons will pay any attention to Robert Griffin III's take. However, that does not mean the Cowboys can rest on their laurels during these negotiations. Because losing the star defender, even through a trade, would be borderline devastating for a franchise currently trying to contend for a Super Bowl. Cowboys rumors: Dallas urged to draft Texas star with 4.2s speed. The main focus for the Dallas Cowboys right now is getting Micah Parsons under a long-term contract. And Jerry Jones is pitching into the fray. But looking forward, the Cowboys have been urged to draft a Texas star with 4.2 speed, according to ESPN.com. On its prospect to fill a need outside round 1 list, ESPN said the Cowboys should get Texas running back Jaydon Blue. If the Cowboys opt to wait on a running back, Blue has an explosive skill set as a runner and receiver that would work well with free agent additions Sanders and Williams, Matt Miller wrote. An outside slasher, Blue reportedly clocked in the high 4.2s at Texas Pro Day. It's interesting to see the Cowboys have a need at the running back position. They signed Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders during free agency. Perhaps they believe neither of those guys will be the bell cow for the 2025 season. The need at wide receiver makes sense because it's CeeDee Lamb and no other standout on the roster. Also, the cornerback conundrum includes the lack of availability from Trayvon Diggs. His left knee surgery rehab could extend into the season, according to ESPN.com. Dallas Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs had surgery, in January, on his left knee, and the recovery could keep him out of parts of training camp if not longer, according to multiple sources, Todd Archer wrote. So chasing Blue might seem like a stretch. But he is a nice prospect that could fall into the 3rd round or later. He is considered a potential starter down the road, according to NFL.com. Blue played behind very good backs, so his carry count is lower, but he clearly has talent, Lance Zierlein wrote. He's a narrow-hipped, linear runner with good speed to threaten wide and attack downfield out of the backfield. He has adequate wiggle in the open field but lacks base strength to break tackles. It seems like Blue would be more of a change-of-pace guy. But he could also develop into a third-down weapon. Blue can beat linebackers and become a downfield threat out of the backfield. A lot of NFL teams might like to have Blue as that extra little piece. So the Cowboys might have to spend their 3rd-round pick to get him. It's unlikely Blue would last until the Cowboys pick in round 5 at number 149 overall. The current Cowboys backfield depth chart has Williams in the starting slot with Sanders as the backup. Deuce Vaughn and Malik Davis are also in the mix. The Cowboys lost Rico Dowdle to free agency. And you fan? What do you think about Jaydon Blue's situation? Write to us in the comments.